Some kid drowned in the river, now they're digging up a swimming hole. Yesterday I played center field, I needed some half innings alone. Doubled off the Buddhist minister, knock the tie and run home. Minidoka, bottom nine, Minidoka. Two-0 count, a good lead off third, toss me something fast and low. I dreamt I saw a model plane this morning, flying past the boundary road. Caught the eye of Abel Grable, sliding into second to beat the throw. Flurry started and I thought of the man who got lost from block 3 in the snow. Blanketed in white, freezing in the night, cursing and scared, feeling foolish, dying alone. First baseman got married, they took an army truck out to Twin Falls. Spoke their vows in a hotel suite as a busted pump organ wheezed through the walls. Little sister butchering the wedding march, some sweet comedy to it all. Minidoka, dressed in white, Minidoka. Snowdrifts bounce in the moonlight as the evening took the afternoon. Deep in the count, staying alive, 1,000 spectators, nothing better to do. Under diamond cut stars, horizon to horizon, and a translucent milk glass moon. Minidoka in the night. Under diamond cut stars, a horizon to horizon, and a translucent milk glass moon. Minidoka, dressed in white, Minidoka.
I'm Gordon Nagayama Hall. I'm an emeritus professor of psychology at the University of Oregon, and I'm also on the board of directors of the Disorient Asian American Film Festival of Oregon. And my connection to Japanese American World War II incarceration was that my mother and her family were incarcerated at Poston, Arizona, beginning in 1942 because they were Japanese Americans. They had a farm in Central California, and my grandfather came from Japan in 1908 and had lived for decades in California, but because he and his family were of Japanese ancestry, they were incarcerated at Poston, Arizona. My mother was 20 years old at the time. She was a nursing student, and she served as a nurse in the camp, and the conditions were appalling. The food was not good. People were getting sick. It was dusty, and so she actually complained to the authorities about the food, and this was something bold for a Nisei, second-generation Japanese American, to do. She could be punished. She didn't know what would happen, but she felt it was important enough for her to complain, and the authorities actually improved the food. And so she was in that camp for a couple of years, and then the Quakers actually sponsored her and helped her get to Philadelphia, where she got some additional nursing training. Meanwhile, her family stayed in the camp, and when the camps were closed, they went back to Central California. They had placed their farm in the care of a high school teacher who had sold the farm. And so they had to start again with nothing and begin a new farm. And meanwhile, while my mother and her family were in the camp, her brother was in the United States Army fighting in Europe as part of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. And so you can see just the ironies here. These American citizens were in a camp, and another American citizen who was Japanese of Japanese ancestry was fighting for the U.S. in Europe. My father, who was white, hadn't met my mother at the time of the camps, but he was in the U.S. Navy and was stationed in Alaska. And he found that his friends from Tacoma, Washington, were being sent to the Hart Mountain Incarceration Center in Wyoming. And so he had to leave from the Navy. And so he told the Navy that he was going to visit his grandmother in Pennsylvania. But what he actually did was go to the Hart Mountain camp to visit his Japanese American friends. And he stayed in the camp. And I also found a record from the camp newspaper of when he visited the camp and saw his friends. So his friendship with his Japanese American friends was very important to him. And so both of my parents had connections to the camps, and this is something that has shaped my identity and helped me understand what it means to be a Japanese American, and it has motivated me to be a champion for civil rights.